Hello, everybody. This is Coach Gary Masseri. Look, I'm very excited to introduce to you Mark Brisebois out of Houston. Mark is an incredible person who has been doing what we call multifamily wholesaling. And Mark has hit months as high as $75,000 in one multiple times. So with that being said, I'm going to bring Mark up from Houston, Texas. Mark, how you doing today?
I am fantastic, Gary. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. I'm so glad to have you. Thank you for taking the time to do this, by the way. Tell us, Mark, tell us a little bit about yourself, obviously, and about your experiences as a CEO and an educator in real estate. I want people to hear it.
Well, obviously, I'll focus on the real estate side. My most recent job, I was actually the COO of a real estate investing company, and we used to go all across the country and teach multifamily investing, particularly wholesaling is what we focused on. But, I was in corporate America. I worked for a company called First American, title. I'm sure a lot of people on the West Coast know that because they're headquartered out of Santa Ana, California. So had a very good career in the corporate world. And I had my own mortgage company for a period of time. And then we won't talk about 2008 too much. But, so I have a lot of experience in real estate, from the lending to the investing, and obviously very big in the wholesaling, as you mentioned.
Yeah, Mark, tell us, how do you see the Houston market?
Well, I just heard on the radio today, U-Haul does an actual study of where their vehicles are destined to. And Texas is the fastest growing state in terms of new people coming into the state. Right. So that can't be bad. And obviously we all know about the new tax laws. And I think the high, income tax states are going to get people moving out. The great state of Texas here does not have state income tax. So it is a great area. And we're doing a lot in this country as well on the oil side. And as you probably well know, Texas is a great place for oil. So it's, the economy is good. The market is good. It's like anything else, supply and demand. For a period of time when the oil companies were hurting, the prices, were getting good. And now we're getting a lot of people in, and it's going to raise the prices, obviously.
Yeah, it really is. I could see it, man. Texas is going to be one of the hottest markets out there. So, Mark, explain to people a little bit about, gosh, you do these multifamily, right, wholesale deals. First of all, explain tell us what the process is. To get into what you're doing. How would somebody start to learn what you know?
Well, obviously, Renatus has some great courses on wholesaling, as you probably well know. But the main thing with wholesaling is what you're expert at is marketing. First, you have to know how to go find the properties,
right?
And then subsequently, from finding the properties, you have to have a script and a way to talk to the sellers to get the property under contract. Once it's on the contract, then again, we get to marketing. How do you market the property to get qualified buyers? Then when you get a buyer, how do you qualify that buyer and vet them to assure that they can close? And then the hand-holding process is well undocumented in this, is that, you got a title company, you got a seller, a buyer, and you got to hold their hands through the process. And sometimes you have to drag them across that finish line. But, that's how you get paid. So that's the way, that process works. It is not a very difficult thing, and, to do. I say there's a lot of holes in wholesaling. You got to know where those holes are and, where the bumps in the road are, so to speak. But at the end of the day, you really don't have money at risk. And I think that's the most appealing thing to a lot of people when they start looking at, how do they get into real estate, and how can they do these deals. Wholesaling doesn't require money on your side.
Mark, what's the largest escrow check you've got from a wholesale deal so far? this last year?
On a single deal?
A single deal.
The largest one I had so far was 40,000.
40,000. My God.
But
Yeah. What's your largest month?
I have one right now, actually, that I'm working on that's 75,000. So
one deal.
One deal, 75,000. Yes.
Oh my gosh. And Mark, is your market all over the United States? I mean, you don't just find them in Houston. You find them all over, right?
Yes, I do all over the United States.
Okay.
You know, and there's an art and there's a method to that process, but you know, it gives you just frankly, it gives you a much bigger market to go after.
What's the ideal partner for you? Somebody that would do what for you? The ideal partner.
In terms of buyer, seller, or
yeah, buyer. What the ideal buyer?
The ideal buyer, you know, and you know, we find a lot in your neck of the woods, Gary. There's a lot of California buyers. There's a lot of Florida buyers. Okay. Typically, they're replete with cash. You know, they have the cash, and they can do deals on cash that they can't do in California. You know, when you're able to sell you know, we just sold a 6-unit for $125,000 in Ohio. That's unheard of. You know, that's unheard of in the state of California, as you probably well know.
Yeah, yeah, good. Okay, listen. What do you think about the concept here about building meetup groups in a community like we're building all over the United States, and then live streaming that so people could lock into our community and take advantage of bring us deals and maybe even buy properties? What do you think about that so far?
Well, I think it's a fantastic opportunity because you know anybody can send out CDs and online courses and what have you. But if you don't have a community, and more importantly, if you can't connect into that community via meetup groups or whatever the case may be, then you lose the opportunities, because no matter what, you're going to have a ton of questions when you get into the real estate market. And to have the experts right there, you know, telling you, showing you, you know, how deals are done, gives you the confidence as a newbie to go out and be successful.
It does. Mark, for the sake of time, I want to thank you very much for coming on board with us and sharing with us. You know, you're a fantastic real estate investor. I mean, my God, 75,000 in one deal. Wow. You know, and we're going to be hearing a lot of you. So again, you know, they can get a hold of you on our Facebook page, right?
Yep.
We're going to go with that. They can send you a message, private message there on your Facebook page. Also, telephone number if they need to call you, if they're interested or have buyers. Give a telephone number real quick.
Call me. My cell number is the best way to reach me. It's 214-796-7106.
06. All right, we got that. Thanks a lot, Mark.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Gary.
I appreciate you, man. Bye-bye now.